In this edition of A Conversation with Genie Sweetness, we will be speaking with Reggae-Soul artist PEETAH Morgan. You played a lead role in Morgan Heritage for many years. When did you know it was time to pursue your solo career?
To be honest with you, it was never a situation where, I was like, okay, it's time to do this, or I knew it was time. After we put out the last album, Mission in Progress, and we toured Europe that year, and we toured the U.S. that year, and in the fall of, I think it was '08, when the album came out, we were supposed to go back into Europe, but we canceled the tour because of a reoccurring injury that my brother Gramps had from his days of football in school, American football. And, after that, later on in the year, going into the new year, we as a group just decided that we wanted to do something different that was unexpected from our audience, because we didn't want to become like predictable where every year they would know what we would do. We would come out with a new album every year to a year and a half or 2 years. And, we just decided, we just want to do something different and have fun with music and do something that's more challenging, because after doing Morgan Heritage for, 12 to 15 years, we know how that works. We know what our fans like, we know what they expect from us, and we know what we expect from ourselves in delivering products from Morgan Heritage.
Right.
So, we just wanted to challenge ourselves and create a new life, a new wind. So, we just decided as a collective group to do solo projects.
Right. I love that about Morgan Heritage, is that you all discuss everything together, although it's still separate ventures. I love that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
She's still loving me, yeah. Though I've caused her so much pain, yes. I've done my share of wrong, time and time again, yeah. Ooh, she's still loving me, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I can't deny, no. Since she's been in my life, everything's been good and fine, and I'm proudly to the world, yeah. She's my one and only, and I ain't going nowhere. I ain't gonna leave my lady for nowhere. She's my one and only, and I ain't going nowhere. I ain't gonna leave my lady.
Now, I've listened to your singles, a couple of the singles you have out, and it has a real soul and R&B vibe to it. Has American music had a big influence on your solo material?
American music has always had an influence on me personally as a person.
Okay.
As an artist, even within Morgan Heritage, where a lot of our love songs have soul influence in them, vocal-wise. Even songs from She's to Loving Me, To Love You Right, and so many others. Best Friend, and the list can go on and on. So, in doing the solo projects, what we decided as a group was each person would challenge themselves and, do the music that mostly influenced them. And people would understand why Morgan Heritage have the sound we have.
Right.
We just don't, we're a roots band with, with an R&B vocal overtone to our music. And the reason for that is because, we grew up in America. We listened to nothing but R&B and hip-hop music.
Right.
We did grow up listening to a lot of rock music as well, but, R&B and hip-hop music is in the heart and soul of me as a person.
Right. Well, we definitely hear that not only in your music, but also I saw some of the pictures that you took, and it does have like a R&B feel to your pictures as well. I saw some of your poses.
I hear you. Well, with Morgan Heritage, you get the best of both worlds between Jamaica and America, you know, USA to say.
Right. You know what? Tell us what it was like the first time you went out on the stage as PEETAH Morgan without Morgan heritage there with
Man, it was nerve-wracking, man. I mean, it's like I felt out of place. I was like, what am I doing? You know, where's everybody else? It's like everything that could come up negative in my mind, you know, to make me uncomfortable was there.
it came
You
up.
know,
Right.
everything, you know. But I mean, after like probably about 15 minutes or halfway through, you know, I was like, you know, okay, it's a reality. We're doing this, so get over it and do what you do best. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. So, you know, we actually interviewed Gramps a few months back and we asked him this question, and we want to ask you the same thing. How is
Nice.
the process different when you go into the studio to make your R&B soul music versus when you're going in the studio to do the roots reggae music?
I mean, the process is the same. The only thing that's different is the vibe and the energy, because R&B soul music has a different vibe from roots music. You know what I mean? So it brings a different spirit in the studio,
Right.
in the whole atmosphere of what you're trying to convey through the music, the message you're trying to deliver, the songwriting, the subject matter that you're addressing in the song. You know, all of that is different. Roots music is a music. It has a lot of social commentary in it, and you know, a lot of spiritual awareness in it. It's almost like gospel music, American gospel music.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's always about something that's significant in today's world, or yesterday, or in the future.
Right.
But with the R&B music, it's a little more laid back for me. It's not as edgy as it is when I'm doing roots music, but it's very comfortable for me.
You know what? Another thing that I believe that the fans will enjoy. You just spoke about spiritual awareness,
Absolutely.
and I can tell, like, one of your songs, "Salute Them." You know, I feel that spirituality coming through in that song because you speak about the hardship being young and living during these difficult times.
True.
That song is very, very powerful, and I look at it as actually motivation.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, a lot of people have a lot of negative things to say about the youths and how they're growing up, but at the same time, you know, you have to really look into their lives and for a minute put yourself in their shoes and really look at what they face and what opportunities are really out there for them.
Right.
You know, look at the school systems in these areas that we call the ghetto compared to school systems in the suburbs.
Right.
The scholarships that the kids are offered. You know, it's a whole lot that the youth of today are facing. On top of that, we have an economic crisis that is affecting the whole world.
Right.
So we don't really know how their future is going to turn out compared to how ours did, or our parents or our grandparents did. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they're facing a lot. So I had to, you know, I felt it was necessary for me as a person, you know, growing up in these type of areas in America, like Brooklyn, New York, and places like that, to really put to music what the reality of what really is, you know, because a lot of people, you know, we get caught up in the dreams and the hype and the bling and the, you know,
Right.
the things that are before our eyes, that Hollywood puts before our eyes, or
And
you know,
wanting
what
it
urban music.
fast. You want it fast right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? But the reality is, all these people that are caught up in, you know, the life of what's going on in Hollywood and reality TV, we don't live that way. We don't live that. What they call reality TV is not a reality for the majority of people living out here in the world.
Right.
You know?
Right. It sounds like you have a soft spot for the youth. So do you see yourself right now or in the future working directly with the youth here in America?
Yeah, man.
Jamaica?
Yes, man. It's a must. It's a must because, you know, I feel it for them. You know, I'm blessed to know that I grew up in the ghetto.
Right.
And I've made it to become someone, you know, musically in reggae music. There's a lot more things that we aspire to achieve in life, but still I have to give thanks for where we are.
Right.
You know, and I know how hard it is for these youths to grow up in urban areas across the globe. You know, it's not just America. You go to Africa, you go to the Caribbean, and you see the same thing. You see the same struggle. You see the same pain.
Right.
You see the same trials and tribulations that they face here, there, and everywhere. You know, so, you know, until I really see, you know, people really address these issues, like, you know, respect all the people that have it good and, you know, you're living a great life, but, you know, that's not our reality, you know. And to me, as a person who's a voice for people, I like to really address the real issues. I know that, you know, when you do things like that, your career don't go to where you want it to go, because a lot of times you say people don't want to hear that,
right,
or that's not radio, or that's not commercial enough. But, you know, these people that I sing for are the people that make the world go round, man. You know, and that's why I have a strong love for neo-soul music here in America, because people like, you know, Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, Anthony Hamilton, Lauryn Hill, and these people, they sing for the heart and pain of the people of today's society.
That's true. It's funny that you mentioned those artists in that genre, because that's what I get from your music as well.
Absolutely, I give thanks for that. You know, those people highly inspire me. They highly inspire me, and, you know, I salute them as artists and pioneers that I can follow in their footsteps.
So do I hear a collaboration with one of these artists coming up soon?
I mean, it would be a dream come true, trust me. But, I mean, anything is possible. You know, it's not far-fetched, and it's not something that's hard to achieve. It's just something that, you know, we need to become a reality. But, you know, God's willing, all these things will become a reality.
All right. I like to hear that. How do you maintain a balance between your personal life, I mean, being so, you know, having such a big heart and being so spiritual? How do you maintain a balance between your personal life and your professional life?
I mean, I try to not be, you know, not bring the stage to my home, okay, or the fame and the entertainment back home to my family. You know, when I'm home, I'm just PEETAH. You know, that's why I call myself PEETAH, because that's what my family call me. Jamaica, or, you know, from Brooklyn, they say, yo, PEETAH, what up? You know, so I like to be normal. You know, I don't want, you know, people to come to my home and feel like we're gonna talk about where I was last week in Europe, or did I go to Australia this year. I don't want to hear about that. When I'm home, I want to talk about, you know, what my kids did in school today. How's your homework? How's your report cards? You know, are we gonna go to the park today? You know, just what everyday people can do.
Right.
You know, I don't want to be home and feel like I need bodyguards at home with me, and that's not living to me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And what people don't realize is that entertainment is one thing, and that's exactly what it is. It's entertainment. You know, it's not a life. That's why you see a lot of artists, when they're not on top, they either end up on drugs, or, you know, they just end up in the worst places, because they don't separate the reality from what is
fantasy, right?
You know, from the fantasy. You know, yes, you have achieved a lot through music, and it has blessed your life, but at the end of the day, you know, when nothing stays on top forever, you know what I mean? What goes up must come down. So when, you know, that time comes where you have to become back to reality, you have to be able to adjust. So I try not to put myself in a position where I can never adjust. You know, I put myself in a position where when I'm at work, I'm at work, and when I'm home, I'm at home.
Let us love all our brothers, just like we love the Father. Love all your sisters, just like you love your mother. Mr. Tribal War, it not gonna get with nowhere star. Upliftment for the nation, it starts with the youths from foundation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Somewhere in Africa, there's a drum and fight, gonna stop this war. Tell them once again, yeah. Somewhere in Africa, there's some trumpet fight, gonna stop this war. The fly off the own, yeah. Peace, love, and harmony, yeah, is the only way for I and I to find joy amongst humanity.
So when you're meditating, when you're not performing, when you're not on the stage or recording a song, what type of music keeps you in your positive meditation?
I listen to all kind of music, and it's not music that really keeps me there.
Okay.
It's just life itself. I mean, music to me is just a comfort, and it's a love, and it's a joy for me.
Okay.
But spiritual vibration through meditation, and reading scriptures, reading different spiritual books and about different religions, different nations, and I'm very high on history and discovery, and so I watch the Discovery Channel a lot. I watch the History Channel a lot. I watch all these things that have to do with real life issues that people wouldn't advertise in today's newspapers, or you wouldn't see it as a headline. What was on the History Channel last night, or what was on Discovery Channel? So those are the kind of things that keep me calm and grounded. Just seeing people that did research on the safari in Africa, or the wasteland here in America, or just natural stuff, just reality that you're not going to see on BT, you're not going to see it on VH1, you're not going to see it on CNN, you're not going to see it on Fox News, because that's not what they want you to know about. They want you to know about what they want you to know about.
Right, and put their own spin on it, right?
Absolutely.
Shorty, 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 looking lovely, yeah. With your golden brown skin, kissed by the sun, love to love you, baby, my whole life long. With your golden brown skin, kissed by the sun, love to give you my last name, and all that you want. Your back and your legs, arms and your thighs, look so good with your pretty brown eyes. You got me so weak, baby.
Okay. Is there any place in the world where you haven't been, where you would love to perform, or maybe just take a vacation?
Performance, I'd love to go to Ethiopia to perform. I've never performed there, and the closest we've been to Ethiopia is Kenya.
Okay.
Big up all the Kenyans. West Africa, Senegal, Gambia, Sierra Leone. We've been to these places. We've been to South Africa. Right. But Ethiopia is a place that I long to go to. It's a place that, according to history, that's very close to my heart as a person. Vacation-wise, I'd love to go into more places in the South Pacific. We've been to the Indian Ocean, to Reunion Islands and Seychelles, which are some of the most beautiful places on earth, but there's, so much other places to visit. So between other islands, Solomon Islands, Fiji Islands, Samoan Islands, and places like that, okay, and Ethiopia are places that I long to visit for the first time.
How many languages do you speak?
One language. English. But the funny thing about it, me actually about language, I don't have a problem communicating with people with different language, because I read body language. Okay. It's like sometimes we go to Italy, Spain, and these places, and we're going to the store to buy stuff, and the people in the store are talking to me in their language, and I'm talking to them in English or patois, like how we speak in Jamaican. Right. And for some reason, we find a common ground through our body language, and we're communicating with each other. Right. But that's one thing that I wish I did do going to school. I wish I did pick up a foreign language. Okay. That's one thing that, if I was to go back to school and do it again, I'd definitely take up at least two languages, which is probably Spanish and French, which are big languages across the globe. Right.
Speaking about your international travel and language and think, what was the funniest or the most bizarre thing that's ever happened while you were on tour or while you were during the show?
Oh, man. Oh, Lord. It's so much, I don't even know where to start. There's one time we were in Europe, and an African a fan from the audience. Mm-hmm. This guy was at least 6'10", 6'11". Wow. And for some reason, we saw him coming closer to the stage from the audience, but, we just thought he was coming to come to the front. Right. But for some reason, the guy leaped up from the audience onto the stage. And, he just started dancing, and we were all, just like looking at each other and like, what is this? And, in his dancing, he opened up his arms like a bird and started flapping his arms. And I kid you not, his arms reached from one side of the stage to the next side of the stage, hovering over us, and we're like, this is unreal. You know, but we're still playing and we're looking at this guy, we're looking at the audience, and it's just, it was just bizarre, you know, and there's so much other things that has happened. You know, when we play for the African audience, it's the greatest joy for us because these people let the music invoke them to a level that I've never seen before. You know, they appreciate the music, they love the music, and, you know, the music just takes total control over them. And, you know, however they move and however they behave, it's like that doesn't matter to them. You know, it's almost like when David danced in the streets till he danced out of his clothes, you know?
Right.
I see that happening to everyone, you know, in these African nations when they come to the concert.
Well, that's what music is about anyway. It gets in your soul, and just completely takes you over. So I can imagine being on the stage and being able to watch that must be a truly surreal experience.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
You know, there are many youth who want to come into this industry. They want to be a promoter, they want to be a producer, or they want to do an artist. They want to be an artist like yourself. What advice do you have for them?
I mean, you got to be strong. You know, it's not an industry for lightweights. You know, you have to be strong-willed, and you got to be a go-getter and never let anyone tell you no. You know, if this guy tells you no today, go find some other way of getting through that door. Okay. You know, your only holdback is yourself. You know what I mean? And, you know, I've seen people with great talent, I've seen people with no talent get to high places in this industry. We've all seen it.
Right.
You know, so it's just a matter of being a go-getter and never giving up, believing in yourself. You know, because if you don't believe in yourself, then don't expect anyone else to believe in you. You know, and I tell people all the time, you know, there's no promotion like self-promotion. So promote yourself like nothing else. You know what I mean? And just give it all. Give it everything you got, you know, because if you know that you have a God-given talent and, you know, you will get to where you're getting to. And always keep God close. Keep God close. I just know that He's close, you know, because in our reality, God is always close. Yes. But we forget that He's close more time, you know what I mean? So keep Him in everything you do and put Him before everything you do. And with God, you know, anything is possible.
Absolutely. You were speaking about self-promotion. And I was sent your website and also sent your music through email. What ways do you and your team use the social media, Facebook, Twitter, websites to promote your music?
I'll be honest with you, I got a team that's around me that I love dearly, and they've been great with me. That, you know, they're teaching me a lot about it. I'm so caught up in the music, and I love being in the studio, where I know that the social network is a strong part of promoting yourself today, but, you know, I'm not into it like I should be. So I couldn't even advise anyone on how to use the social network to advertise yourself. But, you know, it works. And I'm just grateful for the people that are around me, you know, that are helping me to maintain that presence on the social network and keeping me in the loop with it and educating me on it as we get more into it day to day.
Right. Yeah, it's I love it, and I thank you for taking this time out to speak with us and to give us some insight into PEETAH Morgan as a solo artist.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate it. But before you go, there's one thing. You are an artist, so I need to hear just a few bars. Just belt it out for us.
Okay. I will be mindful of the friends that you will keep. More time of them I said the plot just keep your sleep off your feet. But pay more attention to your enemy them. When of them were close to you, turn like Judas in the end. Be mindful of the friends that you will keep. More time of them I said the plot to sweep you clean off your feet. But pay more attention to your enemy them. When of them were close to you, turn like Judas in the end. You know, that's for those, you know, that deceive you in life. You know, just be strong and stay focused.
Sweet. Thank you very much, PEETAH. And we will speak to you more in the future. And good luck on your endeavors.
Thank you so much, and God bless you all.
God bless. This interview will be featured on GenieSweetness.com, ReggaePromotions.com, and promoted on several social media sites. Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, and YouTube primarily, and sent to FM, XM radio stations for syndication. This has been Genie Sweetness for ReggaePromotions.com.
Every day when I rise, I don't feel so alive, cause of where we're headed. Self-destruction is the aim, and there's no one to blame. It's been a long time coming. So my seat and them not talk about it. It's like every love I got is the motive. Just check it, how much wickedness has been rising, and how much more the people are dying. Yeah. To save the world, we have to change where I want ya. If not so, we have to feel it even harder. You think it rock, no, just wait till tomorrow. Have the changes, it's more into sorrow. To save the world, we have to change where I want ya. If not so, we have to feel it even harder. You think it rock, no, just wait till tomorrow. Have the changes,